Welcome back to Heritage on a Plate. On this week's episode, we blend bold spices of the Cape Malay Koesisters with the decadent French cream pastry. Okay, so welcome back to Heritage on a Plate. For today's episode, we're going to discuss the difference between Koesisters, Koesisters, and So pretty much today's episode was inspired by helping my uncle and his daughters come up with a Heritage Day presentation, and they were short on desserts or kind of had a freeze up. So Koesisters is literally just Afrikaans type of donut that's then braided and thrown into a stock syrup. Very sweet, very delicious. Koesister is the equivalent, but it's more of a Cape Malay style. It's round and it's spiced, similar to how you would have chai, so cinnamon, cardamom, aniseed, clove, very, very, very aromatic flavors going through that. So today I'm going to go step by step through how to make it. Obviously the same as before. If you want the full recipe, please go to the website and get it. I'm not going to give you the full recipe here. I'm just going to guide you through how to make it. I passed by one of my favorite Instagram bakers. I think his name is Ash Bakes. You guys literally harassed him into making this, and then his Koesisters crumbled. Somebody, some way went and told him that there is no yeast in it. Shame on you. I'm sure all those Afrikaans Tannies and Cape Malay Tannies are going to come find you. Stop lying to people. First of all, my producer, who's not even here, yelled at me about my angles, and honestly, I'm not technologically savvy. I'm not really sure I care, but I'm gonna try today. What you wanna do is cook down at least 1 large to 2 large sweet potato. I'm gonna throw it into a little bowl. It's nasty. It sounds very gross, yeah. We're gonna throw it into a bowl. So, whilst we wait for it to cool down, I'm going to start introducing milk in equal parts. So like 1/3 of milk, 1/3 of buttermilk, and 1/3 of water. But if you don't have the budget for that, just go for straight milk. It ends up being the same thing. I just prefer my donuts to be very soft and very rich in flavor. So, okay, perfect. So you see how this is hot? And although we are going to add yeast to our dough, this time around we don't have to heat up our mixture because the mixture is going to be warm in itself, so it is going to help the yeast rise. So have no fear. We're going to introduce cool liquid into our very warm cooked mash. Slowly, slowly. It's going to be a bit runny, a bit gross. It will work out. We're trusting the process, much like I'm trusting how my hair looks to turn out to be somewhat decent. You can't actually see how weird it looks inside here. I didn't bother to take the skins off. That's because I'm going to run this through a blender. But do note, you don't ever put your potatoes into a blender. It's going to make it gooey and tough. However, we are turning this into somewhat of a donut or a bread, so it will get worked anyways. If you were going to be making a mashed potato or something like that, never ever run your potatoes through a blender. So this is the only time it's acceptable to put potatoes in a blender. And then we're going to add 1 egg to our mixture to make sure that it continues to mix in such a way that the warm mix doesn't actually cook the egg. Anyway, so we're going to grab our blender jug. Today is dark. My teeth look ugly. And then we're gonna throw in our very dodgy little mixture. See how it's not smooth? I have so many jokes for this, but I'm gonna be well behaved today. Ooh. fridge, there's actually nothing wrong with keeping eggs at room temperature. However, they do end up whisking a lot better after they've been in the fridge. It's just about how you want your proteins to respond. Personal preference. Also, it's very bad habit and very bad practice to throw your eggs directly into a mix. Technically, you should put them in a separate bowl, give them a sniff, make sure they're not rotten, but these are not old at all. Also, if you keep your eggs in the fridge, they stay fresher for longer. So, as you can see, we've reached our desired texture. It's nice and it's smooth, but just for extra precaution, we're gonna run our mixture through a sieve and back into our bowl. Okay, so now that we got our mixture to cool down and I've had a little bit of a snack because I was getting really grumpy, we're going to sieve our gorgeous mixture into the same bowl because we don't like dishes. There we go. Sure, you can see how nice and smooth that is. Ooh, I made a mix. So now what we're going to do is we're going to mix in our yeast. The reason why we add our yeast now is because we want to incorporate it into all the liquid so that the mixture or the dough can be well. My English is finished at the moment. Combined. Okay, and then you want to combine. Okay, and then you want to go for 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Just the one. Ooh. Okay, at this stage, right, we're gonna now start adding in our spices. Okay, so we're gonna add maybe about half a teaspoon of some molten salt or kosher salt of some sort, desert salt, Kalahari salt, Oryx salt, anything but iodized sea salt. Literally anything but iodized sea salt. So half a teaspoon is 2.5 milliliters. Please gauge it by eye if you don't have enough measuring spoons. I definitely do. I'm just really tired. I think that's like Pericle's bad idea because now I'm so exhausted. Okay, so about half a teaspoon, 2.5 mils, right? Also into the white mixture. Reason being, we want to incorporate all the flavors in it. Okay. Then we are going to go straight up 7 mils of cinnamon. So if you have any Indian friends or something like that, imagine they asked you to make you a tea because they don't drink tea out of a tea bag. So channel their inner ancestors. That's what goes into this. 7 mils of ground cinnamon, some clove, no! Ginger. I think I'm gonna watch Shrek tonight. It's giving Shrek kind of day. Plus my goddaughter's visiting today. Probably watch Shrek. I'm really excited. Okay, so our nutmeg is whole. I think I could be wrong. Please feel free to fact check me. This is actually technically a toxin if you eat it in high quantities. So we are actually going for half of everything else's quantity, if not less. And we're going to microplane it. A microplane being a grater that is of finer texture. My goodness, you know, I saw on the internet the other day on TikTok that apparently people are teasing people for having saggy titties. Let me tell you something. My tits sag, I don't care. If you're going to tell me Nyonya Mabella with, yes, they have. I'm 29, I'm old. Shut it. So again, measured with my ancestors, but the goal is to go a lot less than all the other ones, because this in large quantities is actually a toxin, but it is very flagrant, very beautiful in small quantities. So now we're going to put everything away, reset our table. You know how I feel about a cluttered workstation. That's not how we do it. And then we're going to get into the rest of our ingredients, being the salt, the flour, and then we're going to cling wrap that and prove it. So at this point in time, I don't know if you guys remember the Magwinya video where I said I was just too lazy to do the right thing. The right thing was finally done. We got the flour into a container instead of using it like the savage that I truly am. We're going to go for, I think it's about 3 to 3.5 cups of flour. That amounts to like maybe about 500 grams. Alright, so you remember the little lesson that I gave you is like, you heat it, take a knife, you heat it, you flatten it. 1, heat it, flatten it. 2. Now I'm going to slowly start incorporating my flour into my mixture or my batter, because I don't want flour lumps. Trying to get my hand pump. I don't want that. I remember the last video we had, we laughed at the fact that I didn't even think about a whisk. Oh dear, look at us learning from our accidents already. Okay, perfect. So now, if you can see, we don't have like weird lumps and bumps all about it. And we're gonna add our 3.5 cup of flour, maybe even 4. We'll see. Okay. I'm using 2 different devices to record this. So on the one device, I literally just see my glorious saggy breast, and on the other device, I can see my full-on drained face. So you can tell that I was on my period last week. I'm just exhausted, tired. Our 3rd cup. And then we're gonna go for about half of that. You should use the correct measuring equipment for this, but I suppose because I have been doing this for quite a while, I can actually gauge it by eye when it's reached the right level. You don't do that. Use the measurements I'm giving you. And don't leave these things inside the tubs. Get rid of our flour and wipe our surface. Next, we're gonna go for about 50 grams of sugar. Let's do quick math. Quick math! Calculate. How much? 250 mils of sugar in grammages. I think it makes almost a quarter. Yeah, I think it's about a quarter cup. Feel free to Google that, but it should be around a quarter cup. Or what's this? This is a teaspoon. This is an eighth. This is a quarter. So about 60 mils, roughly, to 80 mils should amount to about 50 grams of sugar. Again, I can see it with my eyes because I've been doing this for a while. Please don't do that. Actually use a scale or the correct equipment. But I'm almost certain it is a quarter cup. Makes 50 grams of sugar. Woo. Get our sugar out. Again, I'm the type of person who likes to bake with dark sugars. I know a lot of people who prefer caster sugar. It's all about preference and taste. You also have to be conscious of the darker your sugar or the stickier your sugar, the more dense and rich the flavor. So if you're not really into that kind of thing and you want like light aerated things, don't go for the butter The white people in Kumbatia, my English is finished. Honestly, this week my English is finished. White people in Kumbatia, they call it buttermilk. Don't go for the buttermilk. Just use straight milk or water, and then you're gonna go for like caster sugar or granulated white sugar, not brown sugar. Okay, so now we're going to start incorporating the last bits of our mixture. You gotta go slowly, because we don't want to make a mess, otherwise somebody might kill me. Again, remember when I told you that wet doughs are nice because they aerate really beautifully, they get very gorgeous, right? Your little sneak peek of this one. So this one is it's more stiff than our magwinya dough, but it's still quite the runny mix. If you can see, it still moves around. So to finish this off, we're going to either grate some sort of citrus. It can be a grapefruit, it can be a lemon, it can be an orange or a lime. I prefer lemons and limes just because I feel like that tartness cuts through the sweetness. So I'm not going to go for like clementines and oranges. Usually I think the usual way to go about it is with an orange or a clementine. I am not the biggest fan of sugar, so I'm going for a lemon or a lime on purpose. So we're gonna wash one in and we're going to in it. Okay, so we have both lemons and limes. I'm gonna go for a gorgeous lime because limes have like the bitterness of a lemon, but almost like with a better flavor. It's a bit sweeter, it's more aromatic. It's a personal preference thing. You don't have to do it. You can go for an orange, you know, a grape, whatever. It's according to your taste buds. Make sure not to go for the pith. So once it starts to go white, you change sides. Don't grate the pith being the white part in, because the white part is actually what makes it taste bitter, whereas the rind itself has a very gorgeous flavor. Okay, so we're gonna mix it in, get our lime. So we are going to cling wrap this and let it rest for a while. With this, I think I'm going to cling wrap it and put it in the fridge. I want a little bit of a stiff dough, personally. That's a personal choice. For you guys who are fresh at this and it's your first time doing it, please, I beg of thee, don't put it in the fridge. Or rather, let me take that back. Let's edit it. So we're going to cling wrap this. We're gonna let it rest at room temperature. Okay, my friends, so for the final touch to our dough, right, because I made this boo-boo actually. Please don't do it. Like, this is how tired I am today. Please don't forget to do this part, okay? You need to add in butter, 125 mils of butter, so that should be something around like also roughly about 60 grams of it. Okay, so again, like I said, I have been toasting my seeds, some aniseed and some cardamom in this pot, because we're going to do our cream that we're going to stuff our Koesister with. So now we're going to infuse. It has to be milk, buttercream, or cream. It cannot be water at this point in time. It won't be stable. It's going to gross. It's going to have a really disgusting texture. It has to be one of those three, all of those three, half of those three. I don't care. Something like that. We're going to go for 2 full cups. Okay. Infuse means to slowly flavor something. So don't toast your seeds on a high heat to the point where they burn, or your spices. Do it at a very low heat. Like, it needs to be slow, gradual. The longer
the liquid stays warm inside the seeds, the more it picks up its flavor. That's the goal. If you burn the seeds, you burn the flavor, and it's completely destroyed. You have to start again. The lowest possible heat is what you're aiming for. So again, I just am a massive fan of amasi. That makes 2 cups, and then there's not much left in here, so I'll finish it off. Shouldn't throw off the ratio too much, so this is going to work. Give it a little bit, get a whisk. This was a hot mess. The good one is in the machine. This one's a hot mess. Give it a good old whiskey whisk. Catch all the like little curdled bits there. Perfect. Back on the heat. Here by our crème pâte, or our pastry cream in French, but we are going to fill it with pistachios. A little makeshift kind of bin for our eggshells. Okay, what you want to do is separate the egg yolks from the egg whites, which is why I'm in 2 separate containers. And the one for the egg whites has to have a lid. Make sure not to get any egg yolk into the egg white container. I'm trying to fish out an eggshell. I don't even want to use my finger because, brother, okay. And then we throw our egg yolk into a different bowl and repeat the process. For 4 egg yolks, we want to go for at least, I would say, maybe 3.5 tablespoons of corn flour. This is going to help thicken it and get it like nice and stodgy, like the stuff you find at those donuts at Spa. But also doing it like this kind of protects your eggs instead of having like curdled egg mixtures. I'm gonna go for a 1/2 cup of sugar. Ooh. So now we're gonna add some crema di pistachio. I got this in, I think, Milazzo. This is good quality pistachio cream from Italy directly. This is nothing to do with the flavoring of Koesisters. It actually has nothing to do with African food at all. Again, this is just according to my taste buds, what I like, because I think that we should spoil ourselves when we eat, guys. Add a nice healthy amount of pistachio cream into our cream base. Let's not even get into it. Then I'll take our nice beach our pot, and we're going to throw our mixture in. I believe because we are tempering our mixture. It means we're controlling the heat of our mixture so that we don't immediately scramble our eggs. Although, like I mentioned earlier, the purpose of adding the cornstarch to the eggs before putting it on the heat is to control it or stop it from actually turning into scrambled eggs. We had enough things to get activated. So what we're gonna do now is take our very runny, very dodgy looking custard mixture, and we're gonna slowly cook it on a low heat back on the gas to get thick. So I will show you how runny it is now, and then I'll show you what it's like when it's finished. So as you can see, this is what I was talking about split and curdling. Have no fear, buttermilk does this anyway. I'm sure you can see it's very runny. Because it was only one or like a half heaped tablespoons, maybe 7.5, maybe 8 mils of pistachio cream, because I don't want to be overpowered by the pistachio. I just want light hints of it. Right, so it's not green. But again, this has nothing to do with Koesisters. This is just my personal taste buds and what I want to eat. So it took me roughly about 10 to 15 minutes to get to this point, right? And then I've reduced the heat again. I want to make it like thick, but at the same time I don't want to taste the cornstarch. So I'm going to give it maybe 2-3 more minutes on a lower heat, try and see if it'll get any more starchier. And then we're going to give it a taste, right? And when we taste it, we're checking to see if it tastes any type of powdery or floury. If it's powdery and floury, your heat was too high and your cream is not ready yet. So that's not what we're going for. But if it tastes like just like a very sweet pastry cream, then you've got the right consistency, right texture, right heat. So we're gonna go for 2 more minutes. So at this point, we've switched off the heat, and now I'm going to incorporate 2 tablespoons of cold fridge or ice butter into it to help cool it down. Okay, so what I've done is I've lightly floured my surface. I would tilt the screen for you, but at that point in time, all you're left with is my tears, and it's not that kind of channel. $100 subscribers actually. I might. Nah, that's cheap. Nah. Okay, no. Okay, our oil is ready. We're going to give it a wobble. Give it a. Okay. Again, maintain integrity, maintain structure. Take both of them, get it on here. Get rid of excess flour. Add it in. Look at that. So we're gonna go for this so the oil can see that. Gorgeous. Okay, and we transfer. And we transfer, and we just repeat the process. We're officially going to strain our cream pat, or pastry cream, French pastry cream, that we flavored with pistachio. As you can see, it's nice, cold, hard. Okay. And then we're going to give it a little bit of a whisk. Still want it stable. And then we're going to start incorporating some whipped cream and sugar into our French patisserie cream. Then you're going to fold it in. Which basically means you're just going to make sure that the pistachio cream and the whipped cream come together as one.
Once your creme patisserie is ready, dunk your Koesisters in stock syrup and then sprinkle them with decimated coconut, taking care to cover the whole Koesister. Turn it around and make sure to spread it evenly. Then, when you're ready, poke some holes into your Koesisters and fill them with your patisserie cream, taking care to spread the cream evenly throughout the Koesister. Once you're done, you can add a topping of your choice onto the Koesister. In this case, we use some sliced strawberries and unprocessed raw honey. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we'll be making a creamy grilled artichoke and sun-dried tomato. Beautiful, hearty flavors of Italy, mixed with bold African spices as we top our delicious risotto off with the pan-seared hake smothered in a butter and chili glaze. Well, that's it for today. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment of what you would like to see us fusing next on Heritage on a Plate. Bye!